pit your sanity against our marathon of fright. Shock follows shock. Your breath comes in gasps, hearts falter. Then, the mind explodes. For the unlucky ones, a straitjacket and a free trip to the booby hatch. See the grisly, macabre marathon of fright and learn your fate. Will it be life or living death?
What?
Well, hello there, gargoyles and boils. It's time once again to take you on a little journey.
A journey into the devilish minds of Bad JuJu.
And J-Bone.
We intend to bring you some facts.
Some fictions. And some frights.
For your eye holes.
And your ear holes.
We'll be hosting a handful of hellish horror hosts tonight.
Prying open their skulls to give you a peek into the brains of televised icons like...
I'm your lifeguard, Mr. Lobo.
Sallythezombiecheerleader here.
Hey, your friend doctordread.
It is I, Mistress Malicious. I'm Janet Decay, the mummy.
And I'm Grimgory, the monkey.
They're all gonna be here with us.
With us.
Hanging out, sipping, chatting about what they do and what we do and all that great stuff, because we are bringing you one hell of a horror host hoedown. Yeah. Come along with us. Enjoy. Arr.
Now, if you're not afraid of something a little out of the ordinary.
Vampires, werewolves, ghouls, ghosts. Mummies that come back to life after 3,000 years. The magic moments of terror.
Stupid fleshies! They buried me again! Ugh. Can't believe this. Fleshies! I hate fleshies! Just eat them all.
I'm Bad JuJu.
And I'm J-Bone.
And with us is Doctordread, Mr. Lobo, and Sally the zombie cheerleader. And what are you guys drinking? That's part of the
I have some hot Dr. Pepper. That's room temperature.
This is just some rainwater mixed with yoo-hoo.
Pretty much. Essence water, only pure liquids.
A little bit of raw
Vodka
suet.
with a couple of olives in it.
There you go. I was wondering where's.
And I have just a red blend wine. I never drink wine.
I have a special aged dark bourbon.
And I never whine when I drink, so there you go.
Cheers. And so, Doctordread, how long has your show been around?
I've been on 4 years, and the first year that it was just my YouTube channel.
Sure.
But I'm going on my 5th year.
Wow, that's great.
Love your reviews, yay! More
Thank
reviews.
you. A lot of fun. I'm having fun.
Yeah. And Doctordread, you watch bad movies, so we don't have to.
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
I think it was really smart, honestly. I think it was really
Yeah.
smart, and it provides something that's different than what everyone else is doing.
Exactly.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You've carved out a nice niche for yourself. You have.
That big hatchet.
Keep carving.
Half the time, people are like, "Can we just watch your parts? Do we have to watch the movie? Can we just send us just your parts without the movie?" So I think you're doing. I like the reviews, Doc. I do. I think they're good.
Thank you. That was part of it too. It's just like condensing.
My stuff is a little slow paced on purpose, a little long form on purpose. I mean, I'm kind of the Bob Ross of horror hosts, I guess. I mean, you just sort of put it. I like to think people just put it on and just have it on as part of their evening or their slumber party or the temperature of the room.
And then instead of happy little trees, he does funny little films.
Yes, misunderstood movies.
That's right.
They're not bad movies. Misunderstood.
They're just misunderstood. Yeah.
Very misunderstood sometimes, yes. Or I go down tangents with cats and zombie issues because zombies have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
A lot of issues.
A lot of issues.
We were actually wondering if you died in the middle of a cheer.
I probably did a few times. Sometimes I die often during the show, but I always seem to come back.
And how long have you been on, Sally?
Since about 2005.
Wow.
So a long time. Approaching 20 years, yeah.
Wow. Oh, cow. And so where did you start?
Actually, I was out in Maryland. I did a bunch of stuff in Baltimore, then Frederick. I did a little work in Virginia, part of the Horror Hosts Underground. So back in the day when there were VHS tapes, we used to trade VHS tapes across the country. So I was on a bunch of stations.
So you actually have a full crew, Mr. Lobo.
Yeah, I do. I have a studio in Paradise, Pennsylvania.
Kitty.
We have a couple of, people who help us, people who do editing. Aaron is my producer. And I've been doing my show for 22 years.
Wow.
So there's been
my gosh.
time. And I'm actually very, this is actually the first time I kind of have my own space. It doesn't belong to the station, or it doesn't belong to a network, or it isn't a space I've borrowed time in or rented time in, or isn't my kitchen, or
basement.
Basement or
basement.
It's been all of those things, and it's been all of those things across 22 years. But now to actually have a dedicated studio where the set is set up all the time, and we just come in and turn the lights on, and it's very nice. And I try to make it a space to where other people can come and be creative, and we can workshop. And we've had indie filmmakers in there doing second unit stuff. We've been doing stuff, recording stuff and making stuff for other people's shows. Sally will come in there and do stuff for herself. She'll come in there and be a guest on my show. We'll both do something for someone else. So I'm trying to make it as much of like I said, a place where people can create.
Ultimately, it's about the creation and the art of it all. As long as you're trying, you're putting forth a product, creating art, and you're having fun. Yeah. That's pretty much what it's about. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, right first time. As long as you're creating something and people are enjoying it, you've accomplished something.
Absolutely. Sally, where did you dig up Skelly Cat?
Skelly Cat was, I actually found the cat creation online, and I wound up buying it as a little plush cat. And I'm going, this is great, because I wanted a sidekick. I wanted to be able to bounce off of something else. And there are some horror hosts, like Bobby Gamonster has Boris Buzzard and all that. And I'm like, I want something too, but obviously it's going to be a cat. And I've tried using my live cats, but it's like herding cats. I'm not going to happily. I needed something that wouldn't move, preferably dead. I'm like, well, I can't have a real dead cat because I'll never forgive myself. So I figured, okay, skeleton cat works. So Skelly Cat was born. But it's just kind of nice to have someone bounce off of me and vice versa.
Yeah.
And Lobo has Miss Mittens to bounce off of.
A house plant.
Yeah.
It's just She doesn't have eyes. She doesn't have a voice. She's just a potted plant. She was given to me as a gift to the show, and I started talking to it, and the audience started getting mail for this plant. People started asking gifts to this plant.
Yes.
And it's like the easiest thing to believe would be Mr. Lobo's a nut and is talking to a plant, but everyone is hearing the plant talk back.
Yeah.
It's become kind of an audience participation kind of thing where the joke is not that the plant doesn't talk to Mr. Lobo. People really put a life into this potted plant. The plant's an alcoholic. Plant will steal a car, and you never see it do anything, but you're imagining just in the margins when we're not watching her, she's getting into all this trouble.
She's a troublemaker. And I also have 2 dolls. It's My Zombie and Arabella.
They're terrifying.
And they're down in the basement.
Freaky. They are so freaky.
Oh, my husband can't stand them. He's like, put those back in the oil room. I'm like, great, I've achieved my purpose.
And
that's
Doc,
my page.
You have Bucky.
I do have Bucky, and had I realized how much trouble Bucky would have been, I would have went with the houseplant.
Oh.
Now it does help to have that thing to bounce your conversation off of. So after doing this for almost a year, I guess it was 90 episodes, I brought Bucky in. And originally Bucky was just supposed to be behind the camera, but he's a ham. And the very next episode, he was in front of the camera telling jokes.
Nice.
And he's like a white bunny, right? Like a fluffy bunny?
Well, he's a rabbit, yeah. He's a hybrid of a rabbit and a rat.
Oh, a rat bit.
He's a rat
bit. I created him in a petri dish, and he's part of the show now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
In the dead of night, when the moon is high, and the ill winds blow, and the banshees cry, and the moonlight casts an unearthly glow, arise, my love, with tales of woe.
Good evening. Welcome to 2 maddening hours of horror and fright. I am Sammy Terry. Every night
night is forbidding and black. The long, dark shadows set apart from the rest of the inky night by silvery pools of light from the cold, frosty-looking moon. And on certain evenings such as this, your mind can stray from the path of reality and lead you into a maze of suspicion and fear. For behind every bush and tree, hiding in the haven-hued shadows, a fiendish maniac is waiting just for you. He'll pounce on you out of nowhere and with insane fury ravage you, while a twinkling star in the heavens appears to be coming closer and closer. It isn't a star, it isn't an airplane, no, it's not a comet or a meteor. It might be a UFO from outer space bent on destroying you. You run madly home, pursued by these treacherous demons of the imagination. And when you're safe inside, you're afraid to take a drink because a deadly virus may be in the water. So hide back in the farthest corner of the couch and turn on the TV. And after an evening's imaginative stroll with terror, it'll be nice to see something soothing to your nerves. Something like my tale of terror tonight.
Are
Very
all
cute.
you guys' shows, is it all scripted, or are you guys just going along with, you turn the camera on and you just go?
I think initially in the beginning, it was mostly, well, all ad lib, but I do script pretty much everything. Because if I don't, I'll get in front of my camera and go, I meant to say something and I can't remember what it was. And I've got an hour and a half film to talk about.
My stuff is pretty strictly scripted at times, but I will leave huge openings to be improv.
Very good. And you always meander back and forth in your scripts anyway, and I tend to do that when Lobo gives me lines for, if I'm doing a bit for his show, 9 times out of 10 I'm saying a line and then going off on my tangent and doing something. So he's used.
I like that too, because usually sometimes I'll write something and then I'll know Sally's going to be doing all this weird stuff and trying to distract me the whole time, and I just sort of I know that's going to be part of it, so I don't try to write it into it. I just sort of let it happen.
Persistently annoying.
Dr. Dread Reviews is 95% improv. The camera's rolling. Bucky has his jokes ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the jokes are, so he hits me with them. We have a whiteboard with some basic information written down, like who stars in the movie, the year the movie was made. It may be a couple of key points that I want to touch on, but it's just the camera's rolling and we go with it.
Where do you get your fed? I didn't mean to.
I got my first Fez I bought at Monster Bash, and that was the red one with the Frankenstein patch. I added the patch. eBay, I've got a couple of Fezes. The real tall Fez, if you've ever seen the Mega Fez with the octopus on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's plastic. That's a Dollar Tree trash can with the tassel. But my favorite Fez was a gift from Rich Yarber, who found it in a crawl space of the Ghouls studio.
Oh wow.
So he was going through the crawl space and he reached for something and it turned out to be a dead mummified squirrel, and he screamed like a girl. And when he pulled it away, there was a Fez sitting there, and he sent it to me. He said, I don't know if it was ever used on the show, but I found it, and here you go.
That's all.
Wow.
I need to see that letter. Dear Doctor Ed, I found this squirrel dead inside this Fez. I thought you would like it. You're welcome.
There were still squirrel droppings inside the fence. I had to tap them out of there.
Did you sanitize it?
Those squirrel drop
Lysol.
Lysol.
That's those are magic squirrel droppings. That's like Frosty's hat. You know that's where the magic comes from, right?
That's great.
Other squirrels watching Doctor Show going, that was Timmy's fez. I can't believe it. Fez.
The mad bloods coming from your music tune. Just the mad blood.
Doctordread eats the Carolina Reaper. Watching so many movies, he turns into the Jeepers Reaper.
Yeah.
Monster kid from the start. But he ain't got brains, but he got heart.
Are you in love with Miss Mittens, Mr. Lobo?
You know, we have an on again, off again sort of thing. You know, I think once you go green, you don't go back.
You don't go back.
If you go zombie, you don't go back.
If you're a zombie, you might not have a back.
Someone
might have eaten it.
That's right.
It's got to be something with the chlorophyll.
Exactly. She's giving oxygen. I'm giving her carbon dioxide. You know,
It's a very romantic symbiotic relationship. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I consider it parasitic, but you know.
Does anybody enjoy the editing process other than me? Because most people I talk to, thank you, Bones. Most people I talk to really hate that editing process, but that's sort of where the magic happens in my show. You know, with the sound effects and the.
Oh yeah.
So I was with the editing process. Lobo, do you do the editing? Do you hate it?
It's sad because I don't have time for it anymore. Like Aaron does all the editing now, but in the early days, I did a lot of it. And sometimes I edit some of the commercials and things that you see. But I do enjoy editing. I just unfortunately I've kind of reached a point where it's so time consuming that it's hard to justify putting my time in that part of it. But I really do enjoy the editing process.
Yeah. I like it, and again, time consuming. So I like it, but I hate it as well.
Yeah. We split the cost of it. So like the mini movies that we come up with, I will do most of the editing on that, and she will collaborate with me on some of the points that I get stuck on. But for the rest of the show, like the interviewing that she does with the authors and stuff like we're doing right now, she'll edit that down.
Yeah.
And then I'll go ahead and put like my 10-minute part into the rest of the show.
Yeah. It works out, and he's a really good editor. Like he does all the he does all the I don't know, like with some of the mini movies he's come up with just some, I mean you like suddenly feel like you're about to watch this feature film, you know, it's like the music and the effects and stuff, and then we just get hokey with it. But
My brainwaves are on your television screen. I'm going to try to make mental contact. If you concentrate strongly enough, the images will begin to form. Your voice of the night, Fritz the Night Owl, is once again in your presence.
now, Sally, you actually teach a classroom of monsters. Where did you get your teaching degree?
Well, it depends on what brain I ate that. I mean, what actually I hugged that day, but yeah, I kind of, you know, back in the day when I was a cheerleader, I had an old band in high school, and I read a lot of books and found these VHS tapes, and I realized that, you know, fleshies don't like us so much. So I try to educate fleshies about monsters, that we're not so bad, or, you know, vice versa. And, you know, usually I'll just have like little tidbits and fun facts sprinkled in. But it's mainly that, you know, it's hard to explain, but It's mainly eating the brains, yeah. Because knowledge is power and transferable.
What was one of the worst brains you've ever eaten?
Well, I don't know. Some of the ones down south could be pretty nasty.
A racist brain or homophobic?
Yeah, the inbred ones are the worst. They just
Oh.
And Lobo's gone. No.
How do you come back from racist inbred brains? That's what I want to do.
You know what? The people that are actually moving around, the better.
When you want to see a zombie vomit.
Yes, that's when you'll see a zombie vomit. It goes in, it goes right down.
And Doc, how often do you time travel?
It takes a lot out of me, often when I'm watching a movie and I phase out, I'll time travel back the 15 minutes to watch it again.
When did you switch fezzes? Did you just time travel? Because I thought you were wearing the octopus fez.
Yes, he was.
He's changed.
How does that happen?
What?
Yeah. I've watched him change, what, 3 or 4 times?
I haven't seen it at all. I was like, wait a minute, what?
I only noticed the 2.
Yeah, this is the first one. This is my first fez.
First one, yep.
If you go back and you see the leopard print fez, that'll be the one that Rich found up in the crawl space with the dead squirrel in it.
Nice.
And he's changed it. I'm watching him. I like the leopard one, but the leopard scale one, but the Frankenstein one is my favorite because that is your first one.
That's the first one. Yeah, that's a lot of love for this one. I've been called a wait a minute, not a Shriner, but a Frankenschreiner.
Frankenschreiner.
Now, was Frankenschreiner the doctor or the monster? That's what I always get confused.
That's the fez. You're not paying attention, are you?
Yes.
If you had to choose just one monster.
Just one? That's like a favorite.
Oh, I know. You gotta have one hard question.
I never was into vampires very much. I like them. I think they're cool, but I can't imagine being a vampire. As a kid, I think I always liked Frankenstein because he was misunderstood. The Wolfman was too sad. I always just felt bad for the Wolfman. But honestly, of the Universal ones, I think I really loved the Invisible Man because he was so crazy. Even the moon is afraid of me. Bonkers, and then just a naked dude running around in the snow, screaming at the top of his lungs.
Technically, you could do that now.
True. People would pretend not.
I mean, that's a hard one. I think the only one that would jump into my brain because I'm a Bela Lugosi fan, hardcore Bela Lugosi, it's going to be Dracula. I mean, I could never be a Dracula, but I just think the sheer, and it was all sensuality. It was seductive. It was menacing. It was alluring. It was terrifying. I mean, the emotion and the impact that character and just the eyes alone was, it just resonated with me even as a child. It's like you were scared, but you kind of liked it.
Now, Lugosi, his Dracula was probably my first monster movie character that I remember, and it was the power that he had over people that was just, it drew me in, come, where he just, with the hands, and he had to. So he was like my introduction to the monsters, but I'm not like that at all. I mean, I'm like Frankenstein. I'm barely stumbling around, trying to get through doors, knocking into scenery, reaching up
one
at
hand,
tunes.
fuck you in the other.
Drink good.
Can you feature that awful creature? Can you feature that ugly creature? Creature features and feature features about creatures. Creature features. Now the strangest thing about this show or two is its host, Bob Wilkins, and he brings it to you. Features and creature features and more creatures and more features. And the creature's gonna get you tonight.
So, Doc, where did you get your medical degree?
Well, one of my taglines used to be, "I'm not a real doctor." My lawyers make me say that.
I've seen you say yeah.
Actually, that's on my name tag, doctorate, not a real lawyer, not a real doctor. My character has been given forbidden knowledge by the Greys, the aliens, when I was abducted.
Oh, okay.
You do have a sci-fi vibe to your character.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, there's I'm a master of time and space, but I prefer to watch horror movies.
That's right.
I also like amateur dentistry and spleen removal, but horror movies is number one.
It was actually one of our questions we wrote down was, what's your favorite surgery to do?
Spleen removal.
Spleen
There you
removal. Oh, well.
Hey, when you remove them, what do you do with them? I'm asking for a friend.
Burger King made me not disclose that information.
Sally wanted
a tub of ice involved.
Do you send them out as delicacies?
Yeah, text me later. I'll see what we can do.
Yeah, because we're undead, so we're like we're there with Sally. I don't know what
there you go.
Are, but you're.
My people will talk to your people. We'll talk.
JuJu and Jay, about a question.
Sure.
Who was the first horror host that you saw?
Oh gosh, Sven Gulli probably was the first one I got into. Of course, I knew who Elvira was, but I don't think my mom wouldn't let me watch Elvira, so it wasn't until I was older that I started watching horror hosts. But Sven Gulli is who sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, like I said, a classic host. Once MeTV went national, all that it was like that secret that just the Chicago people had. Everyone got to enjoy and see what he was doing all these years.
Yep.
Now, the original Sven Gulli, for a very brief time, he was in Philly also.
Right.
That was after Dr. Shock had passed.
Yeah.
But they didn't get the humor. The people in Philadelphia just didn't quite get the Sven Gulli. So
was that Jerry Bishop, the first Sven Gulli?
Yes, that was Jerry.
But didn't work out. I don't think he lasted too long out here, maybe a couple of years or so.
The Ghoul they tried to syndicate also. He was briefly syndicated, I think, for a year or so, and we had him out in California. We had the Ghoul out in California on I think all the Kaiser broadcasting stations had the Ghoul.
Right.
I really love the history of all the hosts and the research that I do to learn who my grandfathers were in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's great. Like, I feel like Vampira was the mother of us all.
Yes, Vampira the mother, and Zachary sort of like the father of us all.
That's right.
I think so. And then like Goulardi's like the weird uncle.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the weird alcoholic uncle your parents warn you not to get too close to.
That's right. Someone at parties that he's always in the corner with a beer can in his hand. Smells
Well, you know, I actually think my first horror host might have been the Creep Show.
Okay. The Creep. In Creep Show, he's called
we rented something, and I was like, well, where's the creep? I remember the gross dead guy talking, and he was explaining to me like, yeah, that used to be a show on. So now that my memory's kicking in, so I like snuck and watched Creep Show.
Well, there's the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt, and then there's the Creep movie. In the movie Creep Show and Creep Show 2, they have the Creep.
Yes.
So
so maybe I'm getting them mixed up. Maybe I'm thinking about the Crypt Keeper.
They're both inspired by the comic books of the 50s, EC comic books. There was Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt, and in those comics they had the Old Witch, the Crypt Keeper, and the Vault Keeper. And for the TV show Tales from the Crypt, they combined all three of those characters into one really crazy puppet.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people watching it either on HBO or on Fox, that was for a certain generation. John Kassir as the Crypt Keeper was their horror host, anthology host.
Yeah.
I'm a bit inspired by Rod Serling, who was an anthology host.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Because he was a horror host, definitely.
Yeah, I think
yeah, he was, and undoubtedly. And one of the regrets I have is not keeping the Tales from the Crypt magazines, because I had pretty much everything all through the year.
My gosh,
I still love reading them.
You should have kept them.
It was a long time ago.
Well, and then you have Robert Stack, who was doing the what was that?
Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, Unsolved Mysteries. He scared me when I was a kid watching that. His hosting style scared me, so maybe that's a horror host too.
I would agree that he is.
Yeah.
You know, my girls had Girl Scouts when Unsolved Mysteries came on. I think it was every Wednesday and Friday night, or maybe it was Tuesday and Thursday, whatever the hours were. But I was really annoyed when I had to leave without finding out the end of whatever mystery story he was talking about, because he was just so darn creepy.
Yeah.
You can help me. You can help me solve this mystery. What's funny about this is that like he would be in the fog, and he'd have
London fog.
He'd have the trench coat on and the black tie.
Yeah.
Well, like the later seasons, they try to make him casual. They put him in a windbreaker or something.
Right.
Like, where's Robert Stack? Who's this guy?
But that was a show you watched with all the lights on, because you couldn't leave the lights off because you're watching like, what was that? The door, lock it.
and I would always be like, oh, please let there be one of the unexplained tales. One of the unexplained. Let there be some aliens or something.
Yeah.
And a UFO came flying through the sky.
Maybe you saw that UFO. You were drinking. I don't know.
You are under my power. Look into the hypnotic eye. Time now to enter Mr. Lobo's domain. Look out! Open your mind to the possibility that they're not bad movies, just misunderstood. You're not dreaming. You're watching cinema insomnia.
Now, was talking about her horror host, Count Gordeval, which was in DC.
Yes, WDCA Channel 20 out of Washington, DC. It was my first one.
And that was Creature Feature with Count Gordeval.
Yes.
And what was interesting is that out at the same time on the West Coast, there was Creature Features, which was the show I was watching with Bob Wilkins, who ended up mentoring me later. But both Dick and Bob have a lot of similarities to where they showed the same package of movies. They had the Creature Feature package was shipped to a lot of different stations across the country. So when Dick was showing Night of the Living Dead uncut for the first time on television, Bob was also showing Night of the Living Dead
uncut for the first time on television.
And then Dick Dysel was in the afternoons. He was a cartoon host called Captain 20.
That's right.
And Bob Wilkins was an afternoon sci-fi cartoon host called Captain Cosmic. So they would kind of task the horror host with the job of hosting the cartoon.
And prior, before Captain Insomnia Count Gore was Bozo. Dick Dysel played Bozo the Clown for the DC audience. So
and you slept with Bozo.
I didn't know any of this.
I went to Susan and Dick's house. They live in Florida. And I had their guest room, and there's this huge picture of Bozo over the bed. I'm like,
oh, weird.
And the clown suit was in the closet.
I have a video of the clowns.
Wow.
Like, look, here it is. I'm touching the hem of Bozo's clown suit.
I'm like, this is the last video I'm going to ever see of Sally. It's her and Bozo's.
Sally. Oh, I don't know. She went home. We never saw her.
Standing there with a shovel.
That's right. She was real good. I mean, she was fun to have over.
I mean, do you think someone would want to eat you, Sally? I mean, being a
probably not. I'm a zombie. I've been a zombie for a while. Too rotten. No. A little bitter.
A little bitter.
Not good eating. Nope.
No. So how about you, Doc, with all your time traveling and stuff? How do you think you would taste? Because, you know,
how would I taste? Nah. With the cheap vodka, I'm pretty much zombie safe.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much well preserved. Yeah.
I'm delicious. Yeah, I'm all caramely delicious. Anything.
I'll make you a zombie yet.
May have to flee for my life here at some point.
But I'm guessing you ate before this, otherwise Mr. Lobo would be in trouble.
We did come from a con where there were hundreds and probably thousands of fleshies. So yes, I had my fill.
It'll take a long time. Who's missing?
Someone goes dumpster diving to find bits of flesh. What's that? I don't know. I'll just bury it over.
Half a brony.
Half a brony's in there, yeah. Some parts I did. All that fur. I'm still thick. And the hair right there.
Yeah, all the gamers probably with their soda, drinking all the soda, they were probably super sweet,
Oh yeah, a lot of Mountain Dew.
That's right.
Jacked up on secondhand Mountain Dew, eating those gamers.
I'll be awake days.
So soft and supple from the lack of exercise.
It's like me on a train. Sit there in that chair with their VR on and their Cheetos and soda.
Just soften themselves.
It's like sponge cake.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's
Get chocolate frosting, vanilla frosting, sour cream. It's all kinds of flavors.
Sure, yeah. So, Doc, what made you want to review movies?
Well, it started out I wanted to be a host.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
But
re-asking you a question.
I saw Bird Box. I watched Bird Box. There was so much hype about the movie Bird Box, and it ended up being my first episode because I watched it and I was so disappointed because of the hype. I was so disappointed, and at the time, one of he was a college kid at the time, but he was in my youth group, and he was on his college radio station doing movie reviews. And the thought occurred to me, I love movies. I could be, I have some free time. I could be doing movie reviews. So I right after seeing Bird Box, I went up to my office, and it was very impromptu. I put on my robe, I put on a fez, and I just got in front of my phone and spilled my heart out about it's not all it's cracked up to be. And that was the start of it.
Wow. Just on a whim, you just started recording, and wow.
I think it's like a superhero origin story. I have some sunglasses and a fez, and I'm gonna go out here and fight crime. All right, this movie was terrible.
I became the Batman of movie reviewers.
I like it. Always jealous because I'll do like a show with all these like interesting characters with like capes and like funny, like weird, makeups and stuff. And it's like, and then people will see me and they go, now, is he the manager of the hotel? Is this the we leave our keys with him? Or so a lot of times, like I have like a red jacket I'll wear sometimes, or I'll try to jazz it up a little bit so that if you're not familiar with the show, I look like I'm in showbiz at least.
Yeah.
Sally will probably agree with this, but throwing on the glasses and the fez or the jacket and the striped tie is so much easier than pulling out the Lon Chaney makeup box, and applying.
I have that makeup box.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised. Like tonight was the first time I got ready in like 15 minutes. I was like, whoa, how did I do that? And I put stuff on in a different order, and somehow
It's just about half
an hour to 40. I my arms, neck, face.
Yeah, yeah.
The effect on camera, because I don't look that pale in person, but on camera I glow, so I make sure everything's covered because I love the look when I'm editing.
Yeah.
It looks it's a really good look. It's a very iconic character. Like I said, I a lot of my choices is just like, if there was like a cape, I would have lost it. It would have stopped that weird wig that I like to wear, or the nose would leave in the car and it would melt.
It would melt.
So I didn't like, I couldn't count. I knew I could keep this going. It's like, okay, I can count on this. This isn't too different than how I look anyway. I can live with it. It's something I can live with. And I thought in the beginning, I said, well, if this really catches on, I want it to be something that I can sort of keep going. And I didn't have a lot of confidence in, if I had a special costume or something, I just thought I would destroy it or lose it or mess it up.
Yeah, I would kill to just put a hat on or a jacket and go, hey, stop here.
Yeah, his takes like 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes.
5 minutes would be great.
I think
this was literally 5 minutes before I hit the zoom button.
Yeah.
Boom, boom,
Where's
boom.
that? Gloves, glasses. Here.
My host was Dr. Shock, and
okay.
He did the whole Zachary makeup thing. That was sort of his bit, and there's just no way that I could weekly deal with putting on the makeup and making sure it was right, and not with the time constraints I have to deal with.
Yeah.
Dr. Shock got permission from Zachary. You probably knew about that.
Oh yeah.
Zachary moved on to New York. And,
yes.
Was it John Zwieback? How do you pronounce his last name?
It was Joseph Zwieback. Joseph Zwieback. Yeah. His daughter, who appeared on the show, is still in the Philadelphia area, and they run a Facebook group But he was my hero growing up. I mean, when I watched the scary stuff, even though he was scary looking, he made it not so scary. He was friendly. He was a friendly ghoul. And, I would watch his show, as a kid in front of the TV set, like 6 inches away from the screen. And every time a commercial came on, I would run back out to the kitchen to make sure my mom was still there and everything was safe. But then I would run right back to the TV set and, wait for Dr. Shock to do his magic tricks or to tell his jokes and do his skits.
See, I was the opposite. I had to wait because I was only allowed to watch PBS growing up when I was younger. So on Saturday nights when Count Gore would show up, I would run and see if I was at my grandmother was sleeping, and then come back and watch. Or if I was home, my mother was out for the evening, and I was okay because she wouldn't come back till much later. So that's how I ran that.
Dr. Shock ran on Saturday afternoons when I was little. So it was, and he brought his daughter on, who was, 5 years old at the time, to make it safer for channel 17 to show his show. Now, when we went to my grandparents' house, it was Chilly Billy, and that was a whole different, that was the Pittsburgh experience.
And Chilly Billy was when they were doing American Scary, they were talking about the different horror hosts. They put like Bob Wilkins, Chilly Billy, and me in the sort of normal guy category.
Yes. Yeah.
He's the guy. There's not he's not a ghoul, he's not a mad scientist, he's not a witch, he's just a guy. And but
Chilly Billy would wear the bad tuxedos with the ruffles.
Yes.
yeah, he would do that. But I feel like Chilly Billy would wear anything you asked him to. I think
probably
game for anything, right? He was hosting the wrestling stuff. He was, he was at every shopping mall opening, he'd sing the national anthem at the games and stuff. I just was on for anything. He was down for it.
Yeah. I never got to meet Dr. Shock in person, which I really would have loved to. He passed way too young. But I did get to meet Chilly Billy out in Pittsburgh, and I got this there's a picture, I got this big goofy smile on my face, like this is my hero.
He was one of the best, and he was so good to his fans. It was always great to just watch him interact with his fans because he gave his time for everyone.
Yeah, I met Zachary a few times. He knew me. He knew my character. He loved my character. I've got photos of which I should dig up, and it breaks my heart that I should have stayed more in contact with him than I did. But you take it for granted. I know so many horror hosts, and Zachary was one of the ones I would go out and see once in a while, and we'd talk and we'd sit down and have dinner and get a group of people and chat. And then he passed a few years ago, and it was heartbreaking because I didn't know that obviously he was ill, things were going on, and I wasn't keeping up with him. So it's, like with Count Gore and their family in Florida, I'm a little better about it because I worry. I don't want to be in that situation where I could have spent more time, maybe done a little bit more with them. And Zachary was an amazing guy, just a fun horror host and a sweet man. He loved his fans and he loved what he was doing. He did it almost up to the day he died.
He's a lifer. A lot of horror hosts are. It's the best, worst job in the world.
Yes.
Tell the folks how they can find out more about you.
Okay. Yes, I'm Mr. Lobo. I have a very informative website about my 22 years, cinemainsomnia.com.
So you can find me on YouTube, also sallythezombiecheerleader.com.
Hashtag doctordread reviews, and that'll bring up my YouTube channel.
So are all three of you on the Monster channel then?
I think so, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Yo, J-Bone.
Yeah.
What's it called when a monster takes control of your airplane?
I don't know.
A terrifying experience.
Hey, Bad JuJu.
Yeah, J-Bone.
What do you do when there's 10 boogeymen outside your front door?
I don't know. What do you do?
Hope it's Halloween.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
Hello, children of the night. I'm Bad JuJu, and with me this evening is Miss Malicious.
Hello there.
Mistress Peace Theater.
Mistress Peace Theater, like I said, it spun off of Bordello of Horror, and I actually was attending an independent horror film fest when I went, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm diving in. I'm just going to do my own show and see what happens. Yeah. And I've been very, very, very blessed with the cast and crew that I've managed to wrangle up. And, I'm having a blast. They're having a blast,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's nice that you have a crew. We don't have a crew.
You know what? There's good sides and bad sides to that always.
Sure. Oh yeah,
You just
for one.
You just gotta manage the two of you or whatever. You know, this is what I have now. At this point, I only have like about 10. I can't tell what the camera can see. This is my cast and crew here.
Oh, okay.
So,
nice.
And a few of them aren't even don't even live near me. It's really hard to explain my show in some ways, but the best I can explain is you're watching a show that has a very loosely written story.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of important to go back and watch the first really not so good episodes and work your way,
Oh, cool.
Because there's a very loose story there, and really the first season has the most kind of innuendo to what's going on, and then we kind of went all over the place for a while. I try to create it and write it so that each episode is very much watchable on its own.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna totally miss too much if you watch them out of order or whatever.
Sure.
But it is written as an ongoing story, so it's important to kind of pay attention to the little Easter eggs and things that are going on.
Even though we're all kind of doing the same thing, getting a different angle and doing something a little different is super important. And it sounds
very important.
Like you have. Yeah, that's really great.
I had in the beginning, I had big reservations about like stomping on the movies at all, because I have such respect, even the bad ones. I just have such respect for these movies that I was like, man, I don't want to stomp on them. I'm too bad. I don't know, and then I don't know what happened, but one day I just went, oh no, we're stomping we're tap dancing, we're, all over everything.
Yeah.
But the important thing to remember, if you do that, is that number one, it's got to be funny. The timing's got to be right. And it's even more fun if your storyline interacts with that storyline.
Oh yeah.
So you can have like 3 storylines going on in one episode, and people really do kind of have to pay attention.
That's great.
And we know how attention spans are nowadays.
Gosh, yeah.
You really have to be bringing something to the audience to engage them every few minutes or so. So that's very important to keep them,
Yeah.
You don't want them walking out to, eat supper because they're just like, oh, whatever, I'm not going to miss anything. No, you want them to know they're going to miss something.
Because for me, watching these, I can go rent these movies. I can go find these movies online.
Yeah.
The reason why I watch these shows is I enjoy the horror hosts,
Right. I had heard many, many, many times before I went out and started Mistress Peace Theater, but people really didn't want to pay attention to the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? For the reasons that you listed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of just blew that out of the water with Mistress Peace Theater because you actually have to watch the movies.
That's great.
You can't fast forward through the movies with my show, because you are definitely going to miss something. You're going to miss something that we might do to actually even change the story.
Oh, so how exciting.
it's very important that you stay tuned through the movie as well. And so I wanted to make sure that people, when they came to see Mistress Peace Theater, they were sitting down and they knew for the next hour and a half to 2 hours that they were going to stay put and watch it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And I hope I've created that. I believe I have. And I'll just keep on trucking and trying to make it better and better as I go.
Yeah.
I tend to go with shows that go along with the story that I'm writing.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times these shows just kind of fall in my lap, or these movies fall in my lap. I'm like, that is perfect for what I wanted to write.
That's great.
So again, I try to kind of intertwine the movies with what I'm writing to tell whatever story or whatever thing I want to do that time. One of the worst ones, and I think it was probably the fifth episode I did, was Curse of the Swamp Creature. When I tell you I fell asleep halfway through that the first time, I could not stay awake. I fell asleep upright on my couch like this. I'm like, how am I doing? What am I doing with this thing? Oh my God. You know, it takes a lot of brain power to get through a few of them. But again, I like the challenge. Sometimes the worse the movie is, the better. You know, a really bad horror flick, I mean, just unwatchable, send it my way. Because I love the challenge.
Yeah, and I really appreciate, like, even the bad movies of those people, like, they had to earn money to do it, and they had to find actors, and there's a crew, and, you know, everybody worked. And so it is like just trying to be open-minded about, like, what were they thinking? And sometimes I just watch something and I'm like, they were on a lot of drugs. You know?
I actually was making that point earlier. I was watching a movie. I guess I don't want to say which one it is, but God bless him. You know, I love the Vincent.
Yeah. But
anything he did, like in the later 60s into the 70s, was just, what were they spiking the juice with? You know, a lot of these movies, I'm like, just way out there.
Yeah.
You know?
I was watching one that was like every few minutes it was slow-mo. Like they would just go, and it was like they had just found slow-mo and was just obsessed with slow-mo.
Overdoing it because they could.
Again, yeah. I can't remember what the name of the movie was, but it's like a woman kept hearing a knocking on her door. It was like 70s, and every time she'd answer it, there was no one there. But it turns out, like, in the end, it was her, and she was dead. She was the one knocking on the door. Like,
of course it was her.
Yeah. But it was like just slow-mo after. And I was like, oh, this movie could be half the time if you just.
So they were really trying to make this dramatic, and they just way overdid it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am Dracula. Oh, it's really good to see you. I bid you welcome. Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Psychological games, I guess. And I psychological movies, dark movies, and, you know, psychological thrillers. And so we do tend to throw in some things in Mistress Peace Theater that will make you kind of go, what? Huh? Nice. You know, and you have to actually think. Yeah. I love that. I love being able to kind of trigger that response in an audience. So. I mean, I think it's just hitting the right stride, with your shows to keep your audience engaged and evenly entertained, and hopefully from the beginning to the end. If they make it into the credits and even through the credits, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, that's great. I've always been someone that watches the credits. So
well, that makes me happy. Make sure you watch ours, because our first few episodes, I don't know what we were doing. We were some really random goofy stuff in those credits. So
oh, that's great. Yeah. And see, and people that don't watch the credits miss stuff. Well, what kind of monster would you consider yourself? I mean, like, I'm a voodoo doll.
I am, man, this is a hard one for me to answer because I'm not technically a monster. I'm literally living on a ranch in the middle of Texas because I got tricked by a guy that I married who said he was a millionaire. And when I found out that he stranded me in Texas on this ranch, I basically took care of him.
Oh.
And took over the ranch.
Oh, okay.
And that's about as much of the story as I can give right now.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it to
so I would not say that I am a monster in cinematic terms. But I am a sly monster.
Oh.
So, yes.
Love it. And who was your first horror host?
My local horror host was Mr. Mephisto. I believe his name is Dick Flanagan. He was the host on a show called Lenny's Inferno.
Okay.
Lenny's Inferno aired out of Madison, Wisconsin. And the basic gist of this was that Lenny, he went by his TV commercial named Crazy TV Lenny, basically hired Dick Flanagan, Mr. Mephisto, and another gentleman to do this voice in a box for the show. Hired them on to do the show, to do the horror host show, but then during the show at some point, they took a break to show what the latest sales were at Crazy TV Lenny's store.
Yeah.
So the guy who started the show or owned the show had this huge appliance store, electronics store in Madison, Wisconsin on the Beltline called American TV. So he started this TV show and then had the host stop mid-show and show what was on sale, all these stereos and TVs and all this stuff. So he had this kind of gimmick worked out there, so he could advertise his stuff, but also put on a late night horror host show.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Mephisto, he passed away, I believe, the end of 2016, early 2017.
Okay.
And Bordello of Horror we got an opportunity to put on a live show at this theater in my hometown of Baraboo, Wisconsin. Theater is Al Ringling Theater. So what we did is we did live skits, and then we showed Spider Baby. And then we did get Mr. Mephisto to film for us, which sadly was the last time he filmed.
Oh, wow.
But we also were so honored by the fact that he had given his time shortly before his passing to us for that show.
That's incredible.
So I grew up with him, and then he also was on my show. Or on a show I was on.
That's really cool.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Who are some of the horror hosts you watch now?
Let's see here. I mean, I have so many horror host friends. It's I definitely don't want to leave anybody out. I really enjoy my friend Bobby Gamonster. Eulogy Mortem, she's all over the place, so I'm always watching what she's doing next. Formerly Crapix with Freezer Mortis. He's an interesting guy. Love him to pieces. Coffin Cat. Coffin Cats or something like that. I haven't had a chance yet. Plan on getting a chance to watch them soon. We all bring something different.
Yeah.
We all bring a different angle to everything. And to me, it's just so interesting to see what everybody does.
Yeah.
So I guess I wouldn't say that I got a favorite host.
No,
either
yeah, of course.
Yeah. I love them all.
Yeah. What's the one movie, no limitations, that you would love to host?
That's such a hard question.
I know
It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be that hard, but it is, isn't it?
We do like asking the tough questions.
I don't know. I think no matter what I choose, someone's gonna go, why that one? But
yeah,
I would show. I would
this
show
is for
Gremlins.
you. This
I
is
wanted
what
to-
will make you happy. This isn't about
Gremlins.
anybody else happy.
Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Gremlins. I
That's
once saw Fritz the Night Owl host Gremlins. Don't know how he got to do that. God bless his soul. I love that guy. But that was a blast to watch when he hosted that, and then he would interject himself into some scenes and stuff, and it was wonderful. But I think Gremlins, it just, it's just there. I don't know. Mogwai got me. The first time I saw that movie, I was done for a Mogwai,
Yeah. I love that movie. I still do.
And then I'm not gonna give anything away, but there's a couple other favorites that I'm gonna get to show soon. So
oh, how exciting!
Again, can't talk on it till I
Sure.
know it's a thing. But
Yeah, that's oh well, I'll definitely be keeping an eye out. I was planning on keeping an eye out anyway, but now now I'm super excited about. Oh gosh, what are you talking about? Woohoo!
This is a big thing, if you're not having fun, your audience isn't going to have as much fun. I'm not saying they won't have any fun, but I probably hear that most of all. It looks like you guys are having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we are. That's, if we're not having fun, how are you going to have fun? What's the point, right? That's why we do this.
I'm Bad JuJu.
I'm J-Bone.
And this is the Mummy and the Monkey.
Great, I'm Grim Gordy.
And Janet Decay.
And together we host the Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangout.
Yeah, on our YouTube channel on most Friday nights. We're also on a few television channels.
Yep.
But anyone can watch us anywhere on YouTube.
You guys have just been inducted into the Horror Host Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wonderful ceremony. It was held in Indianapolis, Indiana during Horror Hound weekend. So, a group of horror hosts and fans started that up in 2011, and they've been going strong ever since. And every year they induct a handful of hosts into the Hall of Fame. And we've inducted people in the past. We never thought we would be the ones getting inducted.
Didn't see it coming.
until this year. We're
So-
like, oh, okay.
So it really happened very fast because this summer they're like, "Hey, you're a nominee. People can
Yeah.
vote for you." And a few weeks later, "Hey, you're inducted. Go to Indiana. Go to Indiana for
Oh,
the
wow.
ceremony."
How long have you guys been doing your show?
About 9 years.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, we started the Mummy and the Monkey in late 2014. That's where we first got the idea to do it, and we were trying to figure out like what we should call the show. And it's funny because it was October of 2014. You wanted to get some video for your Grim Gory character for a Halloween special you were putting together.
Yeah.
And we were at like a little town square area. They were doing a trick or treat thing for the kiddos, and everything was decorated for Halloween. And we thought, well, let's film there. You know, that's cute. And I brought some candy to give out to the kids, and we were dressed in character. And we have it on video somewhere in our archives. The kids were going, "Mummy, monkey."
Oh.
So that night we're like, maybe we should call it the Mummy and the Monkey.
I'm gonna call it the refrigerator and the bone spur. But Mummy and the Monkey made much more sense.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things like it's so simple, but it's so perfect too.
I went through a bunch of other ideas too, but I wound up, you got to kind of do that. But yeah, we've been doing it for 9 years as the Mummy and the Monkey, and it's been great. I mean, it's kind of how we met as humans, and then I met you in character actually the first time I think I met you.
I think so. Yeah, we met in 2013, just like a little bit before we became Mummy and Monkey. But we met on the set of another hosted show that we were helping out with for public access cable. It was called The Daughter of the Ghoul. So they called it The Daughter of the Ghoul, hosted by Janet Decay. And the guy who put it together was just a big fanboy of like the Ghoul and Big Chuck and Little John and those other hosts. But
Cool Artie.
the name was confusing because I got a lot of crap for it. A lot of people
Well, to this day, people ask you if you're really Ron Sweet the Ghoul. Who this guy? It was a Cleveland show called.
he was on
and
in
in
Cleveland and Detroit. Yeah.
Big in Detroit. But people still, from time to time, ask you if you're his daughter. It's like,
Oh.
no.
And then people, they would say, "Oh, you're writing the Ghoul's coattails," and it's like, I didn't name the show. I'm just helping as the host. It's not my production.
I don't think Ronnie had any kids.
He didn't.
No, so unless he's a daughter you don't know about.
No. But yeah, so that show ended up canceling after a year, and he told us that he wanted to work on different kind of videos, like wrestling videos and sporty stuff. So we're like, okay, well, maybe we could do like our own thing and learn video editing and put our own show together.
And that's what we did because the internet opened that up for everyone. You don't have to wait to get approved by anyone or audition for something and hope you get it.
Yeah.
You can just do your own thing if you have an idea, no matter what it is, if it's horror hosting or being a musician or a comedian. You can just do it now on the internet. It's opened up a whole new possibilities for everybody, and we thought we'd just take advantage of that, but we had to learn all the stuff behind it first, the technical stuff. We never even thought about doing a live show.
And there were a lot of firsts because I'm Cleveland, Ohio's first female horror host. You're the
right.
first
That's right.
8-man horror host.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. That was one of the, as a female horror host, I wanted to it was so cool that you were the first female horror host there. So
thank you.
That's really awesome. Yeah. Girl power.
Ghoul power or girl
Ghoul
power.
power. There you go.
We both grew up watching Big Chuck and Little John.
Well, stop saying we both grew up in Cleveland, Ohio.
In Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The
so
Northeast
kind of narrow it down a little bit there.
The Northeast Ohio area. Yeah.
And we had a ton of horror hosts to choose from, actually, from the 60s into the 90s.
And then the Ghoul later on as a teenager.
I go back a little further than her.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of an age difference here. So I was exposed to horror hosts in the early 70s, like Houlihan and Big Chuck. Superhost was another,
Right.
UHF station host that we had here, and the Ghoul.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh! And so that was plenty. When there were some other people that came through.
There's a lot of horror hosts from Ohio, and it's like
In
wild.
general,
Yeah, because then if you go down to Southern Ohio, Columbus and Cincinnati, they had Dr. Creep, they had Fritz the Night Owl.
Son of Ghoul.
Son of Ghoul is Akron, Ohio. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's still on TV.
Yeah, he's still on. He's been out
Yeah.
for like over 35 years,
Mhm.
38 now, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had our choice, and then you had the syndicated shows like Elvira.
Yeah,
and
Tanguli.
Tanguli came from
Yeah.
way later. Yeah, I wasn't
later.
aware of him until
Yeah. Oh yeah.
About
I think
2011 or 2012 is when I first saw Svengoolie on
Oh
TV.
yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
I think that's around the time he got syndicated nationwide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like learning like, oh, there's other characters outside of Ohio.
Right.
Oh gosh, yeah. And then we, just go on to
We were in our own little bubble here.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like you said,
that's awesome.
The internet opened up all that too, because what is it called, the Horror Host Graveyard? It used to be a website that used to be out.
Yeah, I think that's like still around, but I
It's
don't.
still, but it hasn't
I don't
been
think it's been
maintained.
updated.
No, but
Yeah.
but still, the database of horror hosts that are on there is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
From high atop the Television 8 building, in the best location in the nation, on the shores of beautiful Lake Erie, it's the Big Chuck and Little John Show! Here we go again.
With I think maybe Tarantula
Tarantula
Ghoul.
Ghoul,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, Tarantula Ghoul I think was from Portland. She was on television in the 1950s, and she actually put out
Oh.
she was well no
Oh.
gosh, I said that all wrong.
Finish that sentence.
She was in a rock band, like a rockabilly band, and she put out a 45 record. One song was Graveyard Rock, and the other side was
King Kong.
King Kong.
Nice.
So you can find them on YouTube now.
Yeah.
We
She
will.
was a cool character.
I had this character since '93, and you came up with yours in 2010.
Oh yeah, 2010.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, and we didn't even know each other when we had these characters. I mean, it was like
Oh, that's
literally
cool.
butter and chocolate. Yeah, it wasn't just put together like, let's sit down, what should we do? I was already playing around with horror hosting, gosh, since the '90s. And then then you got involved,
Well,
with
I
it.
started writing movie reviews
Yeah.
for a friend's website, and this was around 2010, and I used the pen name Janet Decay. And then in our area, there were charity zombie walk events, so
Oh, yeah.
everyone's dressed as a zombie, and I'm like, well, what can I do different? So I made a mummy costume,
Nice.
and that's kind of what started it. Like, okay, I guess I'm a mummy now.
Exactly. For the audition for the
Yeah, and I used
that
that
show,
same
and
character for, Daughter of the Ghoul show,
Okay.
or Mummy and the Monkey. Yeah.
That's really awesome. I love that. That there's all this history behind it. So,
well, good.
yeah. Do you know who dug you up, Janet? I'm
Who dug me?
who dug you up?
Oh, the origin story.
Yeah.
Originally my character, and I might change it later on, I haven't decided yet. She was a silent film actress that was supposed to be on the set of some Cleopatra movies.
That's great.
The Egyptian props that were used on the set were supposed to be just props. Well, the sarcophagus was actually real, and it was cursed. And does it show on the video? It does a little bit.
Tight.
Yeah.
It's a closer shot, but it kind of mummified me and turned me into the mummy I am today.
Yes.
And years later, I awoke from my slumber, and Grim Gory and I met up. And the rest is history.
And so, Graham, like, were you a test subject in a lab? Were you in a zoo? Were you in a jungle in the wild? I mean, how did you come out into the world?
That's a great question and a great thought, because yes, Grimm's past is a bit murky. He's like one of these characters that's just kind of always been there in the background, kind of the freak show guy, We don't know really where he's from yet. That's still malleable and questionable. But yes, the idea was initially we're going to do like an origin comic book, and I wanted to craft it so Janet's character was this actress, keep that same thing that was in the sarcophagus forever. And then fast forward to Cleveland, Ohio, there in the 1950s, that's where the pompadour and the greaser look comes from. But in the 1950s, at the same time, there's this like traveling, circus with a freak show and See the Monkey Boy. And at the Cleveland Museum of Art, there's an Egyptian exhibit going on. And Grimm goes out for some sightseeing and gets caught up in this whole thing where it leads into the Cleveland Museum of Art. Maybe awakens you by accident because they could never unseal this thing until he gets there for whatever reason, kind of make all that up. And then we go on some adventure from there, and we've been around since then.
Yeah.
In the background.
We're still trying to figure out our origin stories too. I kind of have one, but it's like it doesn't take us all the way back to, because I'm a voodoo doll, and
but we made
an episode where that I come back to life, but how I died and who I was and everything beforehand. We don't have that down.
I ordered her out of a magazine.
Oh, I saw that video clip. You were piecing her together.
Yeah, we saw that. We caught that
that
episode.
was
And then we popped on the
it was on PMN.
Yeah, we threw that on there.
Oh, cool.
Look, in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane.
No, it's Superhost.
Give me that shoe. Meek, mild-mannered director trainee Henry Bookerstein becomes Superhost. And with powers far beyond those of ordinary men, Superhost brings you Saturday afternoon. And now, Soup's on.
You guys are usually live.
Everyone's got their own style.
But we're sitting up here where anything can happen.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen you guys have technical difficulties, and it's like, yep, that's part of it.
I said shit by accident because we were having some technical issues, and I blurted out, "Oh shit!" And they heard that, and they're all laughing in the chat. The audience was laughing in the chat.
Ooh, the mummy said a bad word.
Yeah. So I go, "Oh no, I said ship. Oh ship."
A little bit of a running joke,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pops up.
Yeah, because you guys have parents that watch with their kids.
We do. Yes, we do. So we definitely keep a lot of we don't usually swear on our show, which is
we try to keep it for most ages. There's some innuendo jokes here and there, but that'll go over the kids' heads, and the parents will get the joke.
They do that all the time in Disney and movies and DreamWorks.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's always been done.
Yeah, tons of adult humor. Nothing raunchy, but and borderline sometimes. And little kids sitting there going, "Huh?" They don't even get it. Their parents are going, "Oh Lord, oh my God!" Laughing, Dad. Oh, forget it. And that was, and that's another cool thing about doing this gig anyway, is that the fans are actually a part of the show, in that they suggest things. Our friend and audience member Bob Ferguson, who is really a behind the scenes guy of several different horror host shows since the 70s. He somehow found us, and we've become fast friends with him and his wife. But he suggested that the fart part too.
Started calling it that, and then it kind of stuck.
Like a wet fart, it stuck, and we just are rolling with that. And so we have some very talented artistic and technical people out there. We had a few people submit openings, totally blown out.
Oh yeah, your little introduction.
Yeah. I mean, they just hey, check this out. Like, that's great. Can we use it? They're like, sure. Like, it's the equivalent of sending in a picture to your favorite horror host or movie or show, for a kid, movie kid.
Oh yeah, and then they would show like your artwork. And...
I really like how much you guys have your audience involved. You can't really do that not live though, right? You have to be live to have that kind of interaction.
If they suggest things, but then we get to do stuff on the fly.
Well, so before we started doing those we didn't start live streaming until 2018.
Okay.
Because of the technology didn't really get gooder.
Gooder.
That's a word, right?
It's not extemporaneous.
No.
It works.
But it was
it didn't really get good until about 2018. And then before that, we would script everything, and it would take us longer to put out shows.
Yeah, that's became a hindrance for us, actually.
Yeah, because it would sometimes take us like a month or two to get like a show out.
The first iteration of our show was called The Mummy and the Monkey. That was the name of the program.
Yeah.
And we scripted it. We have 12 episodes. We scripted them out. And so everything was scripted.
Okay, so this might be a tough question. Do you have a favorite horror host?
A favorite?
I do.
Who's your favorite?
You got to give all the props to Ghoulardi, from the 60s. Even though I didn't grow up watching it, the stuff I have seen, all the stories that we've heard, and to this day, we'll wear a T-shirt with the Ghoulardi logo, which is very iconic around here. Even Drew Carey wears it on his show.
Yeah.
Wore it on his show when he had it on there. We watch people in their 70s. They'll look at the shirt, and their whole face just goes like they're turned to a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old.
Wow.
You really do see this. They're like, oh my God. And then they want to know how you know it because you're not that old and blah, blah.
We know the history of it.
You could see them go back in time.
Their face
Yeah.
That's
So he set the stage for the Cleveland horror hosts. So I would have to say Ghoulardi was my favorite.
What was the worst movie you've ever had on your show?
That's easy.
That's easy.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
Beast of Yucca Flats, for sure.
the
Beast of Yucca.
Yeah, and we emphasize yucca.
Yucca Flats.
Yucca Pooey.
In it, and Tor Johnson was also in Plan 9 from Outer Space. He's like the real big guy.
Which isn't a bad movie.
No, that's actually a really good movie compared to Beast of Yucca Flats.
Oh God.
But that movie's really hard to get through.
Yeah,
It's very difficult.
no matter who's making fun of it, like even when Mystery Science Theater showed it, it's a groaner. I think that's definitely up there.
Plan 9 is like
Oh.
perfection compared to that.
Yeah. Plan 9 is not a bad movie.
Yeah, it's cheesy, but it's like made with heart, and it's very likable and entertaining.
I was
even though it's
I was thinking about it the other day. It's like, people confuse bad with boring. Plan 9 might be a bad movie, like badly made, but it's not. But it's not boring.
Right.
A movie like The Beast of Yucca Flats is bad and boring.
And
Both.
boring.
Yeah. There's no redeeming value in Beast of Yucca Flats, but gosh, every scene in Plan 9 is amazing.
What's your favorite monster? We have to know that. And you're not limited to just public domain monsters either, so.
Right, thank God. Thank Godzilla we're not. Favorite monster?
maybe Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah,
The creature's pretty darn cute, and I love that the creature was designed by Millicent Patrick, who was the first female to work for Universal and the first monster designer in Hollywood. That was female.
Oh, that's great. That's good to know.
If you look at the credits for Creature from the Black Lagoon, Bud Westmore got all the credit. He actually took her designs and then fired her. There's a whole book about her, and it's called The Lady from the Black Lagoon, about her life. And she worked for Disney prior. It's a whole thing, but she was a cool lady, and I love. It makes me love the Creature from the Black Lagoon even more.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough one for me. King Kong, I guess. I mean, right? That's really tough.
And one more question. I guess this would be the last question. If there were any movie, including not in the public domain, that you could do on your show, what would it be?
Any movie? at
Any
all?
movie. No limits.
Probably King Kong, right?
Oh, that would be-
Like a
that would be
Universal
cool.
type of
Yeah,
thing.
almost any Universal flick.
Or maybe one of the Hammer films.
Hammer film. Yeah,
Maybe
let's
like
go
what was
Hammer.
like Curse of the Mummy. I saw one recently that was really good.
That was a good one.
Beautiful costumes and props.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
their
yeah.
blood and special effects are kind of hokey, but
Oh, but
everything else is amazing with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So a Hammer.
Yeah, probably something
Hammer
like
film.
that. Like
Yeah.
a goth.
Yeah, the Gorgon or something like that.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I think that wraps it
pleasure.
up. This has been Bad Juju
And J-Bone.
with the Mummy and the Monkey.
Our website is themummyandthemonkey.com. Good night. Good fright, everybody. Yeah.
jacket anymore. I'll send all of them away. I'll send them all to SETI Alpha 7 and the Nebula M78. Be gone! Why are you still here?
Go home. I just wants to go home. I just wants to go home.
Bucky. Bucky. Bucky, it's Doc. You have the power, Bucky. Bucky. You are also a master of time and space. That's right, Bucky. Listen to Doc. You are a master of both time and space. You have the power to banish Scared Road. Bucky, it's Granny Dread. By the power of Mad Blood, no! You mustn't banish Dared Road. You have to be a friend to those without a friend. Bucky, you're a master of time and space. You've always had the power. All you have to do is tap your feet together 3 times and say, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home." Bat phone, activate. Hello? Hello, Doctordread. How did you know it was me? I am the world's greatest detective. Okay.
From the crypt.
Struggling with a constant need for attention and glory, but finding that others just can't see you for the wonder you are? That look at me approach just not working for you? Don't worry, you're not completely invisible. At least not to yourself, and well, you got that. But I would suggest writing yourself a new life script. And before you're tempted to give yourself all the best lines, I suggest you check that ego at the door, save the drama for your mama, and play nice in the sandbox, kiddies. If that doesn't work for you, you might benefit from a good swift kick in the old, oh, look, it's a bottle of Mr. Sun's crotch kicking Crianza.
mixing wine with your scotch. Ain't that a kick in the crotch? Ooh, ooh, do that again. So remember my malicious malcontents? Sometimes it's not all about how many people look at you, but how many people look up at you. Oh, well, hello, boys.
Mistress M's Violent Vintage, available at your local grocery or liquor store. This product's not yet FDA approved. Side effects from consumption of this product include, but are not limited to, dizziness, diarrhea, vomiting, bodily rash, dryness of mouth, overactive libido, dementia, psychotic episodes, an unnatural attraction to Ozzy Osbourne, open sores, anal leakage, sniffling, sneezing, and sudden death. Mistress M's Violent Vintage. Ask for it by name.
Hello, darling. Yes, sirree, it's Lilo me, that gal with a shape that drives men ape. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. The show, as you know, is Movie Macabre, and once again I've plucked from our vaults yet another celluloid sickie.
So, you want to raise a giant leech. Do you have a giant leech? Congratulations! You are now the proud parents of a juvenile giant leech. Now let's feed Junior. Say, where is the little guy? Uh-oh, a leech's primary diet is blood. Better pry that bugger off quick, or the monkeys are gonna butt for sure. Ah, blood in a bottle. That's more like it. Did you know that a leech can ingest up to 10 times its body weight of the red, warm, sticky stuff? Good. It's a beautiful day for a stroll with baby in tow. Ah, the fresh air is nourishing. But remember, nothing will ever replace a leech's insatiable lust for blood. The big day is finally here. You've managed to rear a parasite into adulthood. A giant leech now is he. Sadly now it's time to send him off to become a productive member of modern society. Or in this case, society productive to him.
Be careful what you wish for, fleshies. You just might get it. Oh, and speaking of wishes, it's time for me to make my final wish. No, Skelly Cat, you don't need to hide from this wish. Really? So in order to help support my show, I need tuition. And I've decided my final wish is to ask for paying students. Since most of you sit out there and take this course free, well, someone's got to foot the bill. Are you ready, Skelly Cat?
Meow, 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 meow.
Anyway, I wish I may, I wish I might, on my monkey's paw right here tonight that I could have a couple students with parents who would foot the bill so I could continue the show. What's going on? Skelly Cat, I think it's happening. Wow. That's it? Yeah, I don't see anything. And I'm out of monkey paw fingers, so. Well, Skelly Cat, I guess I don't get my final wish after all. Anyway, class is over and it's time to... Skelly Cat, did you hear something?
Yeah.
What was that?
No, you shush.
Over there. Did you hear that?
Meow, meow.
What? I don't know. Hey, who are you? What do you want?
Hi, my name is My Zombie, and this is my sister, Arabelle. Hi there. Our father sent us down here to learn all about plushies, so one day we can rule the world.
Dad wishes to remain anonymous, but he's paid your tuition for several lifetimes.
Don't worry, we're here forever.
And ever.
And ever.
Wow, did you know we had that in the lair? I don't know. Well, I guess I got my last wish after all. Okay then. Class is over and it's time for all of you to leave. Until next time, this is Sally the Zombie Cheerleader and her School of Horror. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to turn in your test papers before you leave. Bye. Hey, Skelly Cat, what did I just do?
Meow, meow, meow.
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we mutilate? Sally.
Sally.
Oh. Sally.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Nothing fosters codependency like Armageddon. What? What have you got there? Is that alcohol I smell? It's apple juice, fag. Who talks like that? That's it. Daddy is locking up the liquor cabinet. You remember the fiasco when we showed Horror Party Beach? You turned into a monster, literally.
I'm so smitten about Mr. Lobo. Oh, I know. So handsome. Yeah, I know. Wasn't it kind of, he was talking to his plant. That was kind of weird. I was wondering about that. I mean, but he did say he wanted to make a...
You were Hoedown, Edward D. Wood Jr. drunk, and it was embarrassing. What do you mean you don't care? My mentor, Bob Wilkins, was watching. You know, you're too tender in years to remember, but we here at Cinema Insomnia are upholding a fine tradition of horror hosts on television. When I was a youngster, I'd have slumber parties too. By myself. But Bob was always there. On the TV. hosting creature features. And he'd say things like, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Still funny. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for joining us this macabre midnight.
If you would like to see more of us, you can find us on YouTube.
And late night on PMN, Public Media Network out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, which can be found on your smart TV.
We are also screaming online at Open Signal, coming at you from Portland, Oregon.
Take scare and dreadful dreams. Look at me.
Good evening.
Oh well, late last night I was watching TV when the whole room just started spinning around me. I felt something evil, a mystery thread pulling me closer to my TV set. I tried to get up and run, tried to hide, but the television set was pulling me inside. Cathode rays running through me, now I'm trapped inside a monster movie. Someone wake me from this bad, bad dream. I'm on the wrong side of my TV screen. Oh yeah, I'm trapped in a monster movie. Yeah, I'm trapped. Start the film and you can view me. Yeah, I'm trapped. So goodbye to all who knew me. 'Cause I'm trapped in a monster movie. Yeah. Well, if I die before I wake or make it to the next commercial break, I pray the Lord might give me a vacation. Will somebody out there call the TV station? I saw Dracula, I saw Frankenstein, I even saw the 50-foot woman's behind. It'll be a miracle if I survive the night. Cut the cable, smash the satellite. Someone wake me from this bad, bad dream. I'm on the wrong side of my TV screen. Oh yeah, I'm trapped in a monster movie. Yeah, I'm trapped. Start the film and you can view me. Yeah, I'm trapped. So goodbye to all who knew me. 'Cause I'm trapped in a monster movie. Yeah. It's too much to handle. Will someone out there please change the channel? No. Oh no. I can't breathe, clutch my throat. Did I put fresh batteries in the remote? Oh no. No, no, no. Oh yeah, I'm trapped in a monster movie. Yeah, I'm trapped. Start the film and you can view me. Yeah, I'm trapped. So goodbye to all who knew me. 'Cause I'm trapped in a monster movie. Yeah.
He's a lifer. A lot of horror hosts are. It's the best, worst job in the world.